Looks like Marvel has already locked in the movie that's taking that February 18th, 2028 release date, even though there's no official announcement yet. The studio just revealed the first Phase 7 dates, and according to insider Jeff Snyder, that February slot is going to Black Panther 3. Filming is set to kick off in early 2027, and early script drafts are already on the table. Rumor has it the new King of Wakanda won't appear until after Secret Wars. Adding fuel to the fire, actor Damson Idris revealed he's been in talks with Marvel and is ready to take on the mantle of Black Panther. The first Black Panther, starring Chadwick Boseman, was a milestone for the MCU, crossing the billion-dollar mark and becoming one of Marvel's most successful franchises. But Boseman's tragic passing completely changed the studio's plans. Even so, Marvel took the risk of moving forward with a sequel. While Wakanda Forever didn't match the original's box office magic, it still pulled in solid numbers. And now, before Marvel has even said a word about a third film, the news came straight from Denzel Washington himself. A few weeks ago, he casually dropped that he's in touch with director Ryan Coogler, who's writing a role specifically for him. That instantly set the internet buzzing, since Marvel's been radio silent about the trilogy's future. Washington even hinted Black Panther 3 could be one of his final films before retiring. At this stage in his career, he says he only works with the best, and a Marvel project fits the bill. What makes this even more poetic is the full circle connection it could create. Back when Chadwick Boseman was alive, he revealed that Denzel Washington had actually paid for his acting school tuition. Without that help, Boseman's career, and the Black Panther franchise itself, might never have existed. So if Washington really does join the third movie, it won't just be a huge casting move, it'll be a heartfelt, almost fated passing of the torch within the franchise. Personally, I think Black Panther 3 will carry on the storyline set up in Wakanda Forever and act as its direct sequel. The ending of the second film already introduced us to T'Challa's son, and right now, all signs point to Damson Idris stepping into that role. It makes perfect sense, a grown-up prince returning to Wakanda to claim the throne. As for Denzel Washington, rumor has it he could be playing the main villain. This third installment has the potential to be one of the MCU's major Phase 7 films with almost limitless possibilities. From the arrival of Doctor Doom or Ultron, to time travel, clashes with gods, and even cosmic-scale events. When I started thinking through all the potential storylines, I realized this movie could easily surpass everyone's expectations in terms of scope and epicness. Speaking of villains, if you were to rank Black Panther's greatest comic book adversaries, Victor Von Doom would take the #1 spot without question. He stands above the rest as the perfect antagonist, almost a platonic ideal of a great villain. The concept is simple yet brilliant. The ruler of a tiny nation, consumed by a god complex, but also a genius scientist and master of the mystic arts. He genuinely believes the world would thrive under his rule, and there's a chilling logic to that mindset. Almost every comic book story featuring Doom is written at a top-tier level, which makes it even more frustrating that he's never had a truly great, nuanced live-action adaptation. If Marvel decides to bring him into Black Panther 3, it could be one of the boldest and most talked-about creative moves of Phase 7. The team behind Wakanda Forever admitted that making the film was an incredibly emotional challenge after Chadwick Boseman's passing. They needed time to process the loss, regroup, and decide how to move forward. But at this point, there's little doubt the trilogy will be completed. The first two films pulled in massive box office numbers, and the franchise's potential is still sky high. Wakanda has become a cornerstone of the MCU, not just because of its unique place in the timeline, but because of the heroes who call it home. That's what makes Eyes of Wakanda such an exciting project. This upcoming series jumps through different eras of history, showing how Wakandan agents known as the War Dogs have interacted with the outside world. The very first episode introduces a fascinating figure, a rogue Wakandan warrior known as the Lion. Once a member of the Royal Guard and the War Dogs, he betrayed his nation, using its advanced technology to grab more power for himself. Eventually, he built a cult-like following and set his sights on world domination. He was killed way back in 1260 BC, but his presence could be the perfect setup for the events of Black Panther 3. In the 2009 Black Panther comics, we meet the Lion Cult, a group devoted to the totem of the original lion, Nkati. Their goal? Overthrow Wakanda while T'Challa lay on his deathbed. This arc has them summoning Morlun, a psychic vampire, to drain the Black Panther's power, giving them the chance to topple the kingdom. In the comics, their plan is thwarted by Shuri, who takes on the mantle of Black Panther herself. The storyline could fit beautifully into the film continuity with a few tweaks. T'Challa's death has already happened before Wakanda Forever, and Shuri is already the Panther. Still, Eyes of Wakanda lays the groundwork for this plot, diving deep into the nation's history and giving the Lion Cult a natural entry point into the MCU. That history could make Black Panther 3 richer, more layered, and give it an entirely new kind of villain to face. Interestingly, Wakanda Forever almost introduced another major player, but his scene was cut late in production. That character was Dr. Doom, a figure who's long had his eye on Wakanda for one very specific reason: the mystical properties of vibranium. In the Doom War storyline, Doom pulls off the impossible. He conquers Wakanda, but he doesn't do it for political power. His goal is the metal itself. In the comics, Victor orchestrates a full-blown coup to take over the nation, and that kind of setup could work perfectly for Black Panther 3. By the end of Wakanda Forever, the throne had already shifted hands. After T'Challa and Queen Ramonda, Shuri was next in line, but she chose to step aside. That left M'Baku as king. Still, it's hard to believe every Wakandan tribe will accept his rule without resistance. Some will push their own ideologies, demand radical reforms, and challenge his authority. That kind of political instability is the perfect opening for outside interference. Doom could exploit the chaos, but so could the intelligence agencies of major world powers, staging a revolution, installing a puppet ruler, and bleeding the country's resources dry. On the other hand, if M'Baku manages to hold on to the throne and gain full recognition, his first priority would likely be consolidating power. He'd place trusted allies in key government positions, then launch a sweeping military reform. After the devastation caused by Thanos' forces, Namor's attack, and the growing global interest in vibranium, Wakanda would have every reason to modernize its defenses. In the comics, one of the nation's most iconic defense measures was the Prowlers, massive vibranium panther mechs that patrolled the borders and crushed any threat. Sounds familiar, right? Tony Stark had a similar idea with his Iron Legion, and even Ultron was born from the same concept: a planetary shield to keep humanity safe. With Shuri's genius, creating something like the Prowlers would be more than possible. But, just like with Ultron, there's the danger of AI turning on its creators, and with Marvel already announcing Vision Quest, which will bring Ultron back, the idea of him hijacking the Prowlers could set the stage for a full-blown tech disaster, a colossal, high-stakes battle where Wakanda has to take down its own defenses. And if we're talking about defense beyond Earth's atmosphere, Wakanda's comic book arsenal is even more impressive. They have an interstellar warship, a network of battle satellites, and even their own nuclear umbrella. In fact, their most powerful weapon is a vibranium strike bomb, a weapon of mass destruction with twice the yield of a standard nuke, capable of reshaping the battlefield in an instant. In a military reform storyline, M'Baku could push it even further, creating an entire squad of Black Panther warriors, each one an elite super soldier. On Wakanda's side, it's likely we'd see Namor and his underwater kingdom of Talokan stepping up as allies. The ruler of the deep knows all too well that if Wakanda falls, he'll be left standing alone against the full military force of the collective West. So despite their past clashes, teaming up with M'Baku wouldn't just be politics for him, it would be survival. Another potential ally could be Storm from the X-Men. In the comics, her relationship with T'Challa wasn't just friendly. They were romantically involved, and even had an alternate universe son capable of hurling lightning bolts strong enough to fry any enemy to a crisp. With Marvel planning to push the new X-Men lineup after Secret Wars, introducing a new Storm in Black Panther 3 would make perfect sense. Plus, a multiverse reboot would be the ideal time to bring back T'Challa, this time played by a new actor. The potential here is massive. Marvel's holding an entire deck of aces. Now it's just a matter of playing them right.